This is Clayton Erb, known to the internet as Kalabajui, creator of Kalabajui Labs' new media division, a variety gaming channel featuring games such as Guild Wars 2, Minecraft, Don't Starve, and many more at youtube.com/Kalabajui. But you're not here to listen to me. You're here for Multiplaying. That's Kalabajooie. Kalabajui. Remember it.
Everybody online, looking good.
A companion podcast to the collaborative blog and gaming community that's playing as life allows. This is Multiplaying.
Well, let's start the insanity.
We have clearance, Clarence. Roger, Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
Hello?
Great heavens! What kind of radio show is this?
Welcome to Multiplaying 112. On the show today, we have the Multiplaying Classic co-op hosts, Jason.
Hello.
I'm Shannon, and we have Steve.
Hey!
And back again, we have Todd.
Hey, how's it going?
Todd
Who actually hosted number one.
That's right.
and multiple others, but yeah.
Yeah.
It is the lost episode. If any of our fans have the Multiplaying number one, because when I reloaded all of our old stuff, I wasn't on that one, so I didn't have it in my stores. So I could use that to upload to our records. That would be great. Send it to multiplaying@gmail.com. But that's enough of the tech savvy stuff of the evening. Jason, what are you drinking?
Oh, I don't know. Well, what the fuck am I drinking? You gave me some?
I did. I made
It's
you drink
good.
this. Is it? Okay. It's called The Poet. It's a New Holland Brewing oatmeal stout, and you add a shot of vanilla vodka to it, and it's really good.
See, it's amazing.
Tasty.
It's the poet, and he didn't know it.
Ha.
I got a home run.
This is poetic all over
Double
the damn
guns.
place.
It's really good, though.
It is lovely. I was supposed to get Murphy's and do that, but the store we went to didn't have Murphy's. And as I mentioned in the pre-show, we were running a bit late from dinner. So, Steve, what do you have to drink?
The last of my Kahlua and a White Russian.
This is like so you don't have any more drinks left.
I have nothing left in my cabinet right now. I am.
So, like, once
This
that glass
was
is
full
gone.
to the top.
Oh, okay. That's what I'm getting
Well, how
at.
big was the glass, though?
It's like a pretty standard, like Scotch or whiskey glass.
Oh,
Well,
that's sad.
I'm sad for you.
You have NyQuil or something? Please.
Okay, you might be showing signs of a problem, sir.
Do you have any dry erase markers you can snip?
Yeah.
Todd, what are you drinking this evening?
I am also drinking a White Russian, but more importantly, what I'm drinking out of is my Excalibur mug that I got at CotCon
Yeah.
years ago.
What year was that?
Oh, that was a million years ago.
It was like 06, maybe?
Yeah, when we
07?
first started doing this podcast, it was actually called Cotcast because our guild name was Circle of Trust for any new listeners. And we were gearing up and we were doing this show pre-launch for Warhammer Online, which isn't even an MMO anymore. But we were so geeked, like before the MMO even launched, the show already had a CotCon playing in Vegas, and we all met up in Vegas and had the best time.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, we
Was
need
it
to
after?
figure out another.
Actually, we planned it before.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And actually, by the time we went to CotCon, we weren't playing Warhammer anymore.
Classy. That's classic multiplaying.
Yeah. We should have known.
'Cause I think
at
it
that
happened
point.
shortly after I had joined.
Yeah, it did.
Let's see here. Let's pick a topic. What should we talk about first? I guess we should talk about the fact that one of the reasons why Todd decided to finally grace us with his presence once again on the show is because, for those that don't know, he also writes a series of children's novels. But a long time ago, he actually wrote like a grown-up murder kind of a
Murder mystery.
what would you? Yeah, it's a murder mystery, but it's also set like.
Yeah, it's set in a fantasy world. And
I'm trying to think, like, is it steampunk or not really?
it kind of. I mean, there's machines and gears and stuff, but it's not what you would expect from a typical steampunk, I think.
Okay. I'm not very familiar with steampunk.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, there's gnomes and stuff, so I guess you would tie it more to fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. So yeah, I wrote this novel ages ago, and I tried to sell it, and I, got several agents and editors to read it, and most of them came back and said they liked it, but they didn't think they could sell it because it's not a traditional fantasy. It's not a murder mystery. I mean, it's the wrong setting for typical murder mysteries. And back at the time, there wasn't a lot of crossover between the genres. And so I kind of...
Yeah, because this was a long time ago.
Yeah,
I remember when I read the draft that you had put up.
Yeah, I think it was probably 2006, 2007.
Yeah,
it
sounds
was definitely, it was before I moved to San Francisco and got married and all that stuff. So it's long ago. But, I had such good luck publishing these children's books. Right, so I got kind of frustrated from writing it and trying to sell it that I put it away for a while, and I tried writing other things, but I kind of lost it stopped being fun, when I was trying to write stuff in order to get it published. And so I switched to the kid stuff once I had kids, and it was a lot of fun just to do it myself and release it. And I don't sell very much, but it was kind of fun to do it myself. And back in November, I got a check for my latest kids book, and it was just out of the blue, $100. And when I looked, I saw some distributor had bought 90 copies, and
Oh wow.
yeah, so
That's
yeah,
awesome.
and it was just out of the blue. I put it up there so bookstores or distributors can buy through this channel, and it has nothing to do with me. They go there and do it. And I hunted around, and eventually I found at Barnes & Noble. If you go to barnesandnoble.com, you can buy my book. And I never put it up there, so they must have been the ones who bought a bunch of copies and are trying to sell it. So that kind of
that's great.
yeah, thanks. So, that was one of the big things that encouraged me to finally put this novel out, because the novel was edited and polished and it was ready. It just I just never took the final step of putting it out there myself.
Yeah, and like you said, with how much stuff's changed since, I mean we have people that are selling millions of copies of books that were just like homemakers in the past.
Yeah, and I figured back then the number of people who like fantasy is pretty big. The number of people who like mysteries is pretty big, but the number of people who like both maybe not so big.
Mm-hmm.
I think a big part of that is, at least from my perspective, back then, I would have enjoyed reading those type of books, but there's that social, stigma of reading nerd or whatever you want to call books that out in public, you may not want to take it out if you're waiting somewhere. And now with e-readers and stuff, I feel just much more comfortable just buying anything that sounds good to me, regardless of genre. And I wonder if that's kind of why stuff has exploded more.
Romance.
Finally read your Harlequin.
Harlequin romance?
Yeah.
Exactly. Apparently, but romances have been selling a lot better on ebooks than other genres for that very reason.
Because you're not stuck with a cover with Fabio.
Oh
on
my
it.
god! Yeah, I never thought of that. That's kind of funny.
My family owned a bookstore when I was growing up, and I worked there. And the thing that kept us in business were older women coming in every month and just buying the romance books. And we would have people that we would pull 50 books a month. They didn't care what they were. They just wanted every book in this category from a publisher, and they bought them. And they
That's
just
great.
spent...
I work in a library, and there is a coworker I work with, and he is constantly maxed out of our... I don't know if you know what interlibrary loan is, but what it is, for those of you who don't know, you can borrow books from other libraries all over the state, and sometimes all over the nation, sometimes all over the world, depending on what it is. So what he does is he has his limit maxed out. You can get up to 50 books at a time. He has his limit constantly maxed out for requests at 50 at a time, and it's all romance novels for his wife.
Wow.
And he takes home sometimes like 5 to 10 novels a day, and he'll bring them right back the next day. And it's like, how do you read that many romance novels without just having your mind turn to mush?
Yeah.
But whatever, that's what she enjoys. God bless her.
Yeah, I'll be honest, my wife doesn't really read the Harlequin stuff, but she does read a lot of very mindless, slightly romance type books.
Like Club.
Club.
Magazine. No.
I don't know what that is, but okay.
Like we? Cherry?
No.
Never mind.
No.
I don't even know if they
No
make
one's
those
as
anymore.
scuzzy as you are, apparently.
Wow.
You
Hustler,
outscuzzed
okay?
Okay,
slurs.
all
Familiar with
right.
Hustler.
Now you're hitting home. Okay. She reads a lot of books like that, and for her, because I asked her, I was like, "Why do you read this just dumb shit?" And she was like, "Well, because it's mindless. It just gets my mind off of everything else, like all the stress and everything I'm reading. I'm just getting everything else out of my head, and I fall asleep to it."
Yeah, I guess that you can say comparison. Why do people play like Diablo?
Sure.
I
Yeah,
love Diablo,
Minecraft
but
is the
it's
same way.
mindless comfort gaming.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
totally.
if I read like I read recently The Call of the Wind, or I'm sorry, The Name of the Wind.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if any of you've read that. I read the whole thing in like 3 days, and that's all I did though. I couldn't go to sleep because I couldn't leave the character in the situations he was getting himself into, and if I fell asleep, like that's why I feel like the character's stuck there. And so I can't sleep, and so like I will read some, and like Jason kept nudging me like throughout the weekend, like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah." Are you mad at me? No, I'm just reading. Leave me alone. This is important. So I could totally see like some books, if you really, really get invested in them, you cannot just put them down and go to sleep because it's not restful.
Yeah, I end up having to take care of a lot more shit around the house when my wife is really invested in a book.
If you'd like to get invested in a book,
Look at that segue.
Visit
That's
your
awesome.
local library.
No, go to
go on Amazon.
Amazon.com, type in A Clockwork Murder into the search engine, and you, for the unbelievably fair price of $2.99, you can own your own copy of A Clockwork Murder by Todd Edwards, and it's
don't
really
forget
good.
to leave a review.
Yeah.
I do need
Yeah.
to leave a review, yes.
I need to go on there and do it too. I did buy it, but because I felt guilty because I had read it years ago when you
Thank
put
you.
it up, and it is really good.
You know,
But also, do you want to say? You mentioned. I'm sorry. The name of your kids' books.
so the series is called Nerney and Friends, and the first one is Nerney Invents a Clock, and the second one is Nerney's Ingenious Inventions, and the last one is Nerney's Fantastic Friends. And so they're all there. You can get them on ebook or as print. The Clockwork Murder is only an ebook, so I haven't taken the time to format it as a print book yet.
I really hope A Clockwork Murder has nothing to do with the nerdy books and the clock actually turns on nerdy or something.
So
Now I want to cross
so
over.
it's kind of funny, right? So I wrote
Yeah.
Clockwork Murder ages ago, and then I had kids, and at one point, my first daughter was 2 or 3, and she said, "Tell me a story, Daddy." So I started telling her one of the the standard stories, Three Bears or something, and then she said, "No, make up a story." And so every night I would make up a new story for her, and then finally I made up a story about this gnome who invents a clock, and he makes his own legs, and he goes and walks around and gets lost in the forest, and she just loved it. Every night she went, "Nerney and Clock, Nerney and Clock." And then we started making up more stories with new characters, and it just kept growing and growing. And because I'm making these up on the spot, I'm not very good at coming up with character names, so I just started reusing a bunch of the character names from A Clockwork Murder. So most of the characters in Nerney and Clock, or Nerney and Friends, are actually started in A Clockwork Murder.
Okay, but that's still better than what I would have done. I would have just panicked and looking around the room like a pillow girl came in.
Yeah, he's not a good imagination guy.
So how does D&D go with you, Jason?
It's pretty much whatever they got around there.
Yeah, he's more of an observer. He's really, what he's really good at? Just, I guess it's a tangent, but he's really good at looking at all of his abilities and figuring out what works with the problem at hand.
In a given situation.
And yeah, he's very logical. And so rather than being, he always throws these monkey wrenches into our DM's plans. We had this big, I don't know if I've told the story before, but he had this big hell portal open up, and skeletons from the underworld were coming through it, and he thought this was going to be our DM thought this was going to be our epic battle, and Jason's looks at it, he's like, well, I have a flame wall. And our DM's that doesn't work, and Jason's like, no, there's no reasons why it wouldn't work. And so Jason just pretty much threw it up there and was able to like maintain it every roll. And just,
I had good rolls.
Yeah, and just blew like
Roll for
all these. This army we were supposed to have to defeat just was getting burned, and we were able, like all the rest of us were able to like focus on getting the portal shut down, and it took like no time at all. It was supposed to be like this whole day battle. But that's how D&D works for him.
That's good. That's pretty awesome. Well, cool. I'm glad that you got your book out there, and
yeah. So I'm working on the next one, the sequel. Yeah. So I have a rough draft of the sequel that I wrote ages ago. I haven't done any polishing yet. So depending on how this one goes, I'm either going to follow up with the sequel story, or else I also have a biotech thriller that I wrote. Again, I wrote a first draft, and I haven't done any polishing, but I might polish that one up and get it out there just to have people who don't want the fantasy mystery, give them something else to check out.
It must be cool, since you wrote this so long ago, to finally get it out there and let people consume it. And
yeah, it's been kind of on my mind forever, and I've been thinking about releasing it and thinking I should do it. And now that it's out there, it's like it's done. I can't do anything else to it. I can't tweak the story anymore. It's done, and I can move on to the next thing.
I remember you had worked on quite a few short stories too. Do you do any of that still? Because I like you had that one with the boat that was really good.
Yeah, I have a handful, which I think I got one published in a horror anthology. So it was a book. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think I had you sign my copy.
That was
a
fun story. All my short stories are kind of dark. I don't know why. Yeah, it could be it.
Not because you're fucked up. That's what it means.
But I have I tried to get a few of them published, and didn't have any luck with that. But short stories are not really my thing. If I come up with an idea, it's usually a short story is kind of a lot like a joke, right? There's kind of a setup and a punchline, and my brain just doesn't work that way. My brain really thinks in terms of these longer stories that have setups and complications and the kind of stuff you can't really do in a short story. So if I get a good idea, then I write it down, but I don't really pursue that very much.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. I've considered like the back when I was blogging more, like the NaNoWriMo stuff would come around and everybody was like hot into it. I'm like, yeah, I can't fucking do that.
That's how I got started. My first book, which will never see the light of day, took me 10 years to finish the rough draft. Yeah, and I wrote it in grad school, and so I took years off when I was writing my dissertation and stuff like that, but I kept plugging away at it. And yeah, by the time I was finished, I had a complete story, but it was unsalvageable. But then I went and I did NaNoWriMo, and A Clockwork Murder was my NaNoWriMo story. And so in a month, I had something that was better than that 10 years and one round of revisions.
Because it forced you to write every day, right?
Anything. Just write, stay in kind of that creation mode. Don't worry about editing, and just the ideas are out there and they start coming to you. But you got to train your brain to do that, and the NaNoWriMo really helps you train you.
See, I'm fascinated by that because I've been trying to even commit myself to like writing one blog post a week, and it is so difficult for me to even get into that mindset. Now, if you told me I have to make if you limited me to one forum post a day, I would be like, oh my God, I'm going to die.
Gotta make this count.
It would be the longest ever. But it's like different for me to switch to blogging and then to even go from something like that to a novel.
It's all really
I just find it amazing.
Skills, and you got to train yourself. But I think I can't do a blog a week because that's like running a marathon. Just you've got to keep going and you have to stop. Yeah, but you do it and then you stop.
It never stops.
Come back
That's
to
true.
It.
Yeah.
So it's not even like a marathon. Yeah.
It's like being a mailman. That's why they say they go nuts, because it just never
into
stops.
A month, you're doing it every day, and so you never get out of it. You're always thinking about it. It just keeps happening. But one blog a week, right? You write the blog, and then it's out of your mind for several days, and then you got to start back up and do it again.
Come up with a whole brand new thing. Yeah. Whereas the other thing, you're thinking of a beginning, a middle, and a solution to make it all conclude correctly. Yeah, I could see that. It's totally different.
Has the movie been optioned yet?
That would be adorable.
Who would play the main character?
All right, so the main character is a gnome.
Right, so
Danny
Tom
DeVito.
Cruise. Or Danny DeVito.
But he's kind of athletic, so that's tough.
So
Uh,
Tom Cruise.
yeah, yeah, probably have to go Tom Cruise. That's the other thing with the thriller. It's a lot easier to cast because it's not a bunch of gnomes running around and orcs. I guess you could do like an animated version.
Yeah, or you could do, I mean, like The Hobbit, just have people and they don't show them in the same frame, really.
I'll have to think about who.
Elijah Wood.
Yeah, he might be good.
That would be adorable. Yeah.
Dwarf.
Yeah, Dan DeVito played a troll in the Nightman Cometh episode.
Oh God.
Always Sunny.
Jason watches a lot of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
I work at home, so I have to have something on during the day.
But see, the thing is, like, he wallows in these things like this, and it's like I have to come home and explain to him, okay, but this isn't normal society. You know that, right? Like,
I do know that.
You can't say these things out in public. I know, but sometimes.
Yeah, I understand because I work from home too. So.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have weird toilet experiments. Anyway. So you're awesome and you're cool with us going on with some more gaming topics, and you're going to join in with us with that, right?
Oh yeah.
All right, cool. I'm sorry, I should do you have anything else you wanted to add that we did not cover? Because I don't want to give anything away, and it's a murder mystery, so
yeah,
it's good.
Yeah, I mean, you can get it free. I mean, you can check it out for free. And, I tried to front load the first couple chapters with the interesting stuff and really set the tone. So if you read the free chapters, or you can even, I think if you click on the picture of the book on the Amazon page, it'll open up in your browser. So you'll pretty quickly decide if it's for you or not. So give it a read. And if you like it, let me know. If you don't like it, let me know. And tell your friends.
Tell your friends if you don't like it.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Well,
None of that.
So
I know.
on my Twitter page, if you look at my little slogan, it says better to rule the niche than meh the world. And I figured when I wrote this, I know most people it's not gonna be their thing. But I tried to write something that the people that do like it are gonna love it. It's just gonna blow them away, and they're gonna want more. And because I'd rather read stuff like that, and I'd rather put out stuff like that than something that everyone will think is pretty good. So yeah, if you don't like it, that's cool, but maybe one of your friends will, so tell them anyway.
Awesome. Bad with transitions.
Want to talk about some video games?
We can talk about some video games.
Let's talk about video games.
Real quick, I wanted to cover WoW tokens. Did you guys hear this week? I guess it happened where you can sell in-game gold for real money, or you can buy. It's kind of like the same system as Eve, and I think Guild Wars 2, pretty much, right?
Guild Wars 2 just doesn't have a sub.
Well, but I mean, you can still sell for gems.
Oh,
gems
sure.
to gold.
Yeah, you can trade
You know what I mean?
in-game
Yeah.
currency for the stuff that you can
For the real money currency.
buy.
Yeah, so I mean, you can't buy a sub with it, but you're going to get gems where you can buy stuff
Right.
that's cash
I think
only.
more people have correlated it to Eve because you can. Eve has Plex, which you can make in-game or buy in-game, excuse me, with currency that you've built up, so that you can pay for your time in-game, and so.
Right, and that's a sub game. So.
Right. Yes.
Are these tokens ways to buy stuff in game, or are they ways to pay for your subscription?
Yes.
Both.
I believe it's to pay for your subscription. Is the only one I've heard about.
That's the
do
one
you guys
that's
know?
been kind of the news. Maybe you can. I'm not a WoW player as much anymore, since I abandoned it a couple months ago. But from the big news is that you would be able to buy your subscription time with it. I have not heard you could do otherwise, but I'm assuming that maybe you could. Someone that does play a WoW is listening right now and yelling into their iPod or iPhone.
You're all so stupid about WoW. Stop covering the news. Anyway, my question was, everyone's all up in arms about this, and I don't understand why. Yes, it's a sub game, but what it does is it cuts all the gold farmers out of the market. There's no reason for legitimate players to buy gold anymore illegally, like who felt forced to do so for whatever reason, even though I disagree.
Well, there's not no reason. You can still buy gear and everything with it.
Well, but I'm saying if the tokens are for both. If you can just buy, if you can pay money for in-game gold.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm not really sure of the details, I guess, is what I'm saying. But like...
No, I like these models where you can either, pay with your credit card or you can pay with your time. A lot of the free-to-play games do that.
Yeah, I mean, it works in EVE okay, right? Does it mess with their economy?
I'm not sure why you'd be against this. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. You can continue to pay your subscription and play as you normally do. If you're in game a lot and want to sell, the other way. So
as long as it doesn't impact any other players, I don't give a crap like what they would do.
Like it's choices between play. I think so. I don't understand the bad.
I saw
points
some
of
articles that kind of hypothesized that this is them doing another step towards free-to-play options.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a very slow trail, but yeah.
Could be. Well, they already have it where you can play for free on your account now, right?
Up to a certain
level. It's like SWTOR limited.
No, it's more limited than that.
It isn't more than that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because our son did some of it, and it's only to a certain level.
No. They have a new one out now. Where if you are like basically if you had been a full purchaser of the game and previous subscriber, there's like a new tier now of free for that. But it is limited, but I'm not really sure. Huh?
I didn't even hear about that.
Yeah, well, it was limited, so I was like, eh. And I don't know, I'm busy now. Oh, yeah. Our chat room is saying people are against it because change is bad.
Well, they're just probably worried about how it's going to play out.
Yeah,
and
I could see that.
People are worried it's going to fuck with their experience.
But moving on from WoW and things we don't know about, let's talk about some Guild Wars 2.
Sure.
There's a lot of news. I think I'm going to hand the hosting rights over to Steve because you posted a ton on our forums this week about Guild Wars 2. What's going on with Guild Wars 2?
Well, they're in PAX East right now because PAX East is happening. They're letting people play the Revenant, and I don't know if they're letting them check out Stronghold stuff.
They were.
Were they? Okay.
You know what? At PAX, I'm sorry. I'm thinking about the preview people.
Yes, they did invite. I don't know if we mentioned it last week or not. They invited over a bunch of YouTube personalities to their offices and showed off some new gameplay stuff, including the Revenant, and on top of that, showed them off the new PvP map type of Strongholds. That's actually probably out of everything, other than like the specializations with the classes and stuff, that's what I've become the most interested in.
What are this?
Strongholds.
What are Strongholds?
What are this? What's that? What are Strongholds? Strongholds is essentially like a MOBA in an MMO. It's like a 2-lane MOBA style map, but you're not leveling up like you would in a traditional MOBA. You're basically just trying to control the flow of the quote-unquote creep mobs that are going up and down, but it plays similar to a MOBA.
So is it kind of like the arena system that they had there, where you just sign up and get a random team, or?
As far as I could tell, I think that you're still going to go into the Heart of the Mists like PvP lobby, and then you would queue up for that. I don't know if they've been very specific as to how you get into a game of it. But it seems very interesting. I'm hoping that it pans out. But on top of that news from the YouTubers that came out earlier this week, they are in PAX showing it off to the general public. On top of that, because of the PAX thing, 2 other kind of
things are happening for people that want to get into the game. It's on sale right now. It's 75% off again, so $10.
Yeah,
Ten,
like right
10
now-
bucks.
Yeah.
Right now, it's
15 for digital
Deluxe
collector's edition.
Yeah. It's on sale, and if you want to get into the PvP stuff, there is like major boosts happening right now, like 200% magic find for your reward tracks, and like I don't remember if it's 50 or 100% bonus to your PvP track. Like it's major boosts to your experience from PvP. So like
The one, I'm sorry to go back
No.
to
Go ahead.
Stronghold, because those sound the most interesting to me because they sound the most different from what's already in the game.
Yep.
I heard some really cool things from the people who went to play it that it seems similar to a MOBA, but there are plenty of roles for people who don't really know what to do. Like, sounds like castle defense or things like that. Did you read any of that?
I didn't read into it too much. I'm like, because beta signups I think went up as well, and I'm not signing up, and I'm trying to not look into the. I like to be on top of the stuff with the game because I'm excited because I really love the game, but I only want to know the bare minimum, which sucks.
Yeah,
for
they're like beta weekends.
I
think,
know
from what they said.
It sucks for a podcast because I would like to explain people that listen like what's going on, but I don't want to spoil it for myself for when the expansion hits. I want it to all be fresh for me.
Yeah. This does go back to, I think, our predictions before the actual official announcement. We said we hope they did, like they did with Guild Wars 1, they did beta weekends.
Yeah.
Before the expansions. I'm glad they're kind of going back to the roots with that.
Yeah.
Because that's what got me excited.
I agree, though. I'm not going to play any of the beta parts. Just, I don't know. I probably
it's
should,
gonna be
so I
here
can hit the
before
ground
too long.
running, but I'm not going to. I know, but like I have so much to get done before then.
No, I'm not saying that.
I'm
saying I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago. It's not that far away from how they keep dumping information out.
But they haven't announced a release date.
Yeah.
No, I was kind of wondering if they were going to announce some sort of a date at PAX East. I don't know, maybe they'll do it. I don't know if they're going to E3 or not. I mean, that would kind of be the last big news place to drop something like that. But I don't.
Have they ever gone to E3?
I don't know if
Really?
they've been to E3 or not. Maybe for when the game was originally coming out, but I don't know if they had like stage presence. I mean, PAX seems to be more up their alley because you're talking to the players themselves. It's kind of what they want. Because I know there's like a community party going on probably as we're recording this at PAX East for people in the Guild Wars community, and I think that's kind of what they're more. It's more of a perfect setting for them than an E3. So I don't know when we're gonna get a date announcement. I hope the expansion comes sooner than later. But I have this feeling like it's gonna be a like August or September release.
What servers are you guys on?
That's still not far, though.
No.
We're kind of mixed around. The three of us are currently on Tarnished Coast, but we all started off on Sanctum of Rawl, and so we still have lots of former guildmates and stuff on Sanctum of Rawl, and then we took this huge hiatus from Guild Wars 2, so we still have friends on like multiple other servers. But the great thing about Guild Wars 2 is if you're playing PvE, it doesn't matter what server you're on. Want to tell them about what happened with us?
So we did something the other day where, like I said before, Dean had bought or given us a code for our son to play, and we went to make a character with him last weekend, and we tried to get him on Tarnished Coast, but it was full, so he had to set his home realm as Sanctum of Rawl, and I'm like, well, he's 10, he's not gonna do WV dub, so it doesn't really matter. So we went to group with him, and I totally forgot about like switching realms.
Yeah.
And we just invited him to a group and went to the zone, and we were all playing together. And it was like after 20, 30 minutes, I realized we didn't have to like switch select what realm you're going to play. We just were playing with him.
It automatically joined him into yours because
Yes.
of the party.
That's amazing. Like it's one less barrier that people who aren't familiar with this type of game have to go through, and just made it it's made it so easy.
See, I wasn't even aware that it was doing that, because I knew when they first combined all the mega server stuff and combined it that you could join other people's servers, you had to physically go into the character select. And
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so that's actually news to me too. I didn't realize I had it worked to that degree.
Yeah, so if you got people on your friends list and you're going to PvE, don't even just like servers don't matter anything.
Yeah, the secret world does it that way too.
WW.
Yeah.
You just you get in a group, and when you zone, you're in the same spot.
Yeah, yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
and they're asking in the chat, is there even still guesting? No, I don't. You just join up with people.
Dean and Grilled Cheese 28 and stuff, they're starting to run they're starting to plan some dungeon stuff on the forums, so check that out if it works out for your schedule. Because Dean's West Coast, and you're West Coast, so it might work out really good for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I never really got to do dungeons.
I haven't done dungeons since we were with RK, so it's been a bajillion years too.
Yeah, my brother and dad and I tried to do the first one, some low level one, and we couldn't even get out of the second room. Just got swamped because there's only 3 of us.
Well, plus I think it's really hard when you don't have Holy Trinity. I am a firm believer in the Holy Trinity. I think it adds a touch more chaos to the group when you don't have a Holy Trinity, because everyone's kind of spec'd for a solo PvE experience. But you can always change your spec on the fly and kind of agree as a group before you go in. So,
are there pickup groups? Is there and I play a lot of Star Trek Online, and all the the dungeon equivalent stuff there. You can just put yourself in a queue, and they'll randomly put 5 people together to do it. Is there something like that there, or do you have to actually talk to people and form a group before you go in?
There's not. God, now I can't remember, because I don't run a lot.
I have no idea. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't run a lot of dungeons. I can't remember if I thought they'd put in a dungeon finder, but before I thought they did put one in, but beforehand there was actually a website that people could go to kind of find groups with each other. But I thought they had put in some sort of a pug maker. But man, now I don't know, because every time I've ran a dungeon, it's been with a guild group.
Dean is on the chat, and he says there is a beta looking for group tool.
Oh, good. Okay.
Thanks,
Dean.
Are we all wrapped up with the Guild Wars 2 isms?
I think so.
All
I don't think there's
right.
any more news for it, so.
Probably should move on to the Crowfall update. Is that our? We should clip that out. No, I mean, and use it every time we talk about Crowfall.
But it's got to be like the cacaw and then like a thud, like the bird fell.
Aw, poor bird. That is the current screen for our live chat room. That is the current screen for the Kickstarter for Crowfall. And they, as you can see, they have made their 1 million mark. And the one thing I think is incredibly awesome. Oh, just in case you didn't know, for the 1 million mark, you do get female centaurs, which I am most happy about. The other thing, I think when they hit, what's the other one they want to do?
Like the art department. Quick, Rick, throw some tits on that male centaur.
They're not pretty, but they're ladies.
We need some tits, stat.
Someone figure out how to model boobs.
Yeah, somebody's got that on their resume.
Boob models.
That's the only thing.
I'm happy. I am very excited. I can run around like a female Leela in Bender's game.
That's awesome.
I know. They have announced their stretch goals beyond the female centaurs, which is crucial in my opinion. They also are going to be able to have enhanced particle effects. Let's see. They have another one for the number of backers, which I haven't seen that before. Usually it's a monetary amount for stretch goals, but they have one just for simply once they hit 12,000 backers, regardless of the amount. They have an exclusive statue that's going to hit every backer will receive an All-Father statue for their personal kingdom. So I thought that was cool because they're kind of added that in after the fact that you get that. And then at 1.3, they're going to have mounts and caravans. So hopefully they hit that one as well because that sounds good. But the other thing that they're doing that I thought was amazing, let's see. The All-Father thing is really cool. But then once they have the mount goal, you know, it's like, okay, that's fine. You know, you get to do your mounts, but...
What about the centaurs?
What?
What about the centaurs? What do they get for mounts?
Oh, but that's fine. But what they're going to do,
people.
As soon as they hit that 1.3 million stretch goal, they're going to add for no costs or anything to the existing backers, rare mounts as a reward, as a reward for all of the tiers. The backer level, you get a quarter horse. The bronze patron level, you get a war horse. And the silver patron level, you get a nightmare horse. So that's like, I've already backed it. So if they hit their 1.3 million, I get this bonus reward. And I think that's awesome. They're adding bonus rewards like back to people who've already backed
For people that have stuck
the
with
game.
it.
Yeah. They're adding these extras to the existing backers. So that's, I don't think I want to say I haven't seen it before, but I haven't funded a lot of games. So maybe that's typical. I'm not sure. Most of my Kickstarters are about like D&D dice and dice bags and stuff. So this is kind of one of my first major ones. Is it typical or no?
Yeah, I think it's generally pretty typical to have stretch goals like that, just to...
Where they give you stuff in hindsight?
Yeah, because they want the people who've already pledged to help keep spreading the word.
Spreading the word?
Yeah, and they're giving you
sense.
digital.
That makes sense.
They're not giving you physical stuff in
That's
hindsight,
true.
So.
Well, that's kind of smart because, well, they still have to kind of do the coding for it, but...
Yeah.
Anyway.
After that guy gets done with the boobs.
The boobs, and then
He's going to spend a lot of time.
Make some
I
horses.
need to work on these more.
Don't come in here.
Private office to work on these.
The other thing that kind of hit this week that I don't know if you guys care about it or not, but I was really excited. Camelot Unchained had alpha begin this week, and they had promised alpha to start by the end of this February, and they didn't make it. They actually had a live Twitch stream event where they showed everybody in the office. They had webcams up all over the office, and like for 14 hours they were streaming, and they were doing some other stuff too, but they were basically streaming like their work day and trying to get it done. And it seemed like they were really close, but all of a sudden this bug kind of got revealed, and it was crashing everything at the last second. It's like, oh God, like that's like my luck. I don't even have alpha access, but I was just like, oh my God, how deflated can you be when you're working so hard to get this done? But they stuck to it, and within like a couple of days, like it was March 3rd, they already had alpha up and going again. They did another streaming event, and they also announced Cube, which is an acronym for Camelot Unchained Building Environment. And to me, it sounds like their landmark for EQ Next.
Yeah.
Like, Cube is to Camelot Unchained what landmark is supposed to be for EQ Next. You go in there, and they haven't really released a lot of information about it, but basically it's their building tools. You can go in there and craft and build and get all that worked out.
Yeah,
so even though the alpha isn't going to be up 24/7, the Cube is. So alpha people can just go in and build anytime, even if the alpha's not up.
I saw a picture somebody tweeted about some alpha player had built what looked like a Midgard building, like this huge wooden building. It was pretty cool looking.
Yeah, I got hopes for the game. Like, I haven't given them any money. I want to see what happens, but God, I hope it's good.
Yeah, I'm not backing either. I hope they do well, but I don't know.
Cautiously optimistic,
Yes.
very cautiously.
I have a package reserved under a person who bought multiple packages. So I will pay that person our deal. I was gonna give him the money right away, but he's like, he pretty much said he wasn't gonna take any money until he got the actual key codes to give to me. So he's being a gentleman about it, I guess you would say.
Yeah, on these long-term games, I've kind of decided to either, pledge $1 just to kind of give them some extra numbers to, for their player base, so they can use that to go raise capital. But I'm not buying in until I can actually see them.
Yeah, there have been multiple Kickstarters games I've watched the video, looked at it, been excited, and then I go to pledge, and it's like, yeah, it's 2017 is when it's expected. It's like, why? Yeah. Why would I give money now? Just, I'll wait, and if it looks cool then.
The problem I have, for the most part, is when I start looking at the packages, the minimum one I want is a couple $100, and I really just can't justify spending that, you know. Luckily, Crowfall it was obscure enough to me that when I bought it, I'm like, $30, I get the game, okay, I'm out. I didn't look any deeper than that, and that was safe. You're not coming through.
But that's the problem. The rabbit hole you can fall down is you can look at the $30 one, and you get whatever they call beta 2, and then you go up. I pay more, I get beta 1. If I look up more, I can play alpha 2 and get it quicker. And then look up a little bit more in Alpha 1, and like, I don't know what any of these mean. If you're really in the game, you're gonna dump more money in hoping you get it quicker, and that's like, I want to avoid even looking at that stuff.
That's why with Camelot Unchained, like, the minimum one I wanted was $250, and I was like, I can't.
That's insane.
I know. That's why I didn't buy it. And so I talked to Merrick, actually, and he's like, you know what, I have multiple, and so I worked out a deal with him, and the one he has, because when you bought their Kickstarter packages, they're still better than what you can buy for the same price now in their store. So I have that reserved for me. I just want to give him the money, so he takes it, but he won't until I get the key.
Yeah. What I notice is,
I hope it's good.
Right, in the Kickstarter, they're promising a bunch of stuff, and they're planning to do a bunch of stuff, but I think we've all seen what happens from the planning stage to the execution stage.
Yep.
Lock and change. Sadly, we've experienced that. Like I said, we came together as a community and rallied for Warhammer, and it's not here anymore. But I will say, just like I think Maeve said it really well. She said, hoping it's our next war in terms of community. While it didn't have the staying power we all wanted, it sure did great things as a community. And there's like no truer statement, and I haven't had that experience ever in any community. Most of the people we talk to on Twitter, all the bloggers, all of the people in our little group, we all came together because of Warhammer. And so Camelot Unchained is going to have a special place in my hopeful heart simply because of that.
It's really weird that just Warhammer is completely gone.
It's completely gone, but yeah, all of these connections are from it, and I don't know of another MMO that has built like that community for whatever reason.
Yeah, with us at least,
Yeah, I was about to say, I could argue Guild Wars, but that's for us as our community. Yeah, Guild Wars has hit a few of us better than the majority, so. I'd pour one out, but this is the last of my Kahlua.
You can't
need
pour
to
that out.
Pour that in your gullet.
You silly thing. Hang on one second. Neverwinter Online. I don't know if it's coming to Xbox One or did it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is. Still, it releases March 31st. The fantasy online role-playing game will be free to play for anyone with an Xbox Gold subscription, and I don't know how it converts. I would assume very well because of the combat style that the game has.
Yeah, Dan Tech from Twitter, I believe he works at Game Informer, but he posted a little bit earlier today at PAX East that he played it hands-on, and it plays great on a controller.
I would imagine so.
Yeah, it looks
the
like
way,
it was
the way the combat is in that game.
Yeah, pretty action-oriented.
Now, my question is, and I can't find it anywhere, do the Xbox One players play with the PC players?
Nope.
Like,
I asked him specifically.
I'm done.
Yeah, and I understand why. Even though
don't.
it plays well on a controller, someone on a PC is still going to
Final
have...
Fantasy 14 does both.
No.
But it's not a competitive. And Final Fantasy 14 does.
Does
But,
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think they crossed over.
Yep.
Yeah, they do.
I could play in my living room or in here. It's on my same account.
PS3 to PS4 to PC.
I'm thinking DCUO doesn't.
You dumb fuck.
I know.
You're so silly.
So J-Dub had a question about the playing with the controller. So I asked that question too, and they said it's coming, but it's going to require Windows 10 and a special adapter.
What, to play on the PC version with the controller?
Yeah.
That's fucking dumb.
That is fucking
Oh, God.
I think you can do it now, but
That's
you have to get
F-bomb dumb.
one of those third-party programs to remap the keys.
Microsoft just doesn't even know how to make changes to their own system, apparently.
Microsoft can't Microsoft.
Yeah, they're not in control of that.
Well, if you get in game, I recommend the PC version for obvious reasons. I like PC better, but I don't know if a lot of you follow Tippa the Knife.
Yeah.
You guys follow her, right? You know her, Jay.
Yes.
Yeah. She writes West Karana. It's a blog, and it's awesome, and she's awesome. And she has made the Plight of the Undead quest in EverQuest, original EverQuest, in the Neverwinter Foundry. And you should check that out because, I mean, if you're an EverQuest, former EverQuest player, definitely worth checking out. I've seen it mentioned multiple places. I'll put it in our show notes as well. But it's
she's got.
It sounds like really
She's
fun.
got a whole series of quests that are kind of recreating EverQuest zones and EverQuest stuff, and they're all a lot of fun, and it really reminded me of all the time I spent in EverQuest playing.
And speaking of Neverwinter Foundries, you've built 49 million of them, and they're all rather famous, right?
I've done 5.
I might be off on. Okay,
You've been featured, though.
I might be off on a couple numbers there, but
It's close.
you've done 5 and you've been featured by the company, right?
Yeah, so I did 5. I had 2 that I did during the beta, and then I've done 3 more since then. And the first one I made got featured. It's actually been featured twice. And one of the last one I made got featured. And the last one was a tie-in. They're really keeping it tied in with the D&D, the print edition, the 5th edition. And so there was a whole event where the dragon cult of the dragon, was coming in and trying to raise Tiamat. And so they had a contest to make quests centered around this cult of the dragon. And so that's the one I did recently. And Tippa actually did one as well, which is also really good. So if you play, I'm at Winnin in the game, and she's at Tippa. And you can subscribe, and then you can play all of our quests.
Every once in a while,
that's awesome.
I feel the need to go back to Neverwinter, and it's mostly just to check out the story stuff. That stuff is so cool.
You mean the Foundry stuff?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, the stuff the players have made. I mean, the game is actually really good, and I have a great time in that too. But the Foundry stuff is so unexpectedly good.
Yeah.
I occasionally have a need to go back to that game just so that I can get on my horse and constantly hit the space bar.
Fuck yeah!
I've got a
So I can see-
bear. When I hit the space bar, the bear rears up and goes roar.
But do you do it really, really fast, like machine gun fast? See if just the animation get all screwed up.
I haven't tried that.
Double guns.
Double guns on the space bar.
Well, they're releasing a new expansion. It's going to have paladins as a playable class.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think they're doing a
Ooh.
good job with that stuff. The majority is free. Classes are free.
And the
Gives people a
expansions
reason
have
to come
been
back.
free.
Yeah.
Am I right? Am I wrong on that? The
No, you're
expansions
right.
have all been free in that game. What they're offering you in terms of content is really good, and it's we've got a guild there, and it's one of those things where I don't know why when I'm playing it, I have the best time. I have a really good time, but then as soon as I'm not playing it,
Yeah.
it's so easy to pick up other things, but it's a really good game.
It really satisfies my my craving for D&D, real D&D.
Yeah.
Yeah, it captures that really well.
Really well.
So yeah.
And I have to correct myself. I just realized I was mentioning earlier about reading Dan Tack's impressions of playing, and it was not Neverwinter. I confused it with Smite on Xbox One.
Okay,
So I'm sorry.
You're cut off. Yeah.
Stop putting vodka in his beer.
Xbox One games?
You have been overserved.
You brought me this beer.
I know. I'm gonna have to talk to the girl. Moving on. If you're looking for completely free to play.
Hey, can I say one more thing about the Neverwinter?
Oh yeah.
So one of the other things that prompted me to finally release this book was, most of my Neverwinter Foundry missions are kind of similar theme, right? You're sort of solving a mystery, and since they went over so well, I've had I tallied them up recently. I've had over 150,000 plays of all my quests, and just that.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I was staggered. I was
Wow.
like, there's people out there that like my style. So I figured, they like those quests.
And you should tell people when you're done with one of those, tip the person.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I always do.
Tip.
Yep.
If it's good, yeah.
It's not real money.
I tip them anyway.
Just do it.
Even if it's not good. Like if they.
Oh yeah.
I've actually never played a bad one.
I tip everyone, but if it's really good, I tip them a ton.
A lot, yeah.
It's not my money.
Yeah.
It's fake money.
It's silly. You can just tip whatever. Let's see. But yeah, I was saying, if you're looking for a really good, completely free to play MMO, check out Neverwinter Online. It's really, really good. Good value for the nothing you pay for.
But when you get a mount, just jam on the spacebar.
Yeah. I am
Or go
astounded.
play
And they must be
Dungeons and Dragons Online, and just roll
everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah. That. Oh God. I wish we were twitching back
Up
then.
the
That
steps.
I would have peed myself.
one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Other than the my basketball Jones and
Yeah.
Oh, I found that screenshot for him and sent it to him the other day.
What of what?
Yeah, of Basketball Jones.
Send it to
it's
me.
in our it's in our Ion forums.
Fuck, really?
It's either in the Ion ones or
I
the
haven't
Guild
seen him in
forums.
forever. I'm going right now. I don't care about the podcast.
My buddy!
It's either in our Guild forums or our Ion forums, but you have a screenshot of him like pasted into the forum post. So I was
I
cleaning
don't know why I
out.
picture him holding a basketball, but in like my memory, he's just spitting one on his finger.
Yeah, no.
Oh, how do I find this?
This'll be a
I can
slam
look for it
dunk.
later.
No, I need it now.
I can look for you later. I did want to mention I did play some Minecraft this week, and I played a UHC evening. It's the ultimate hardcore mode, and what it was this new group I've started playing with. They had a UHC night, and so what they did was they paired everyone up into teams randomly at the last minute, and they played on a completely new server that they launched. It's only 800 by 800 squares. So it's all PvP, obviously, except for the person you're teamed with. And what you have to do is you're dropped in there then with nothing because it's a fresh server. You're not bringing anything in. You have to survive and kill everyone else. The last team alive wins. So there was 9 of us, so someone had to be the lone wolf, and they're all like, they've done this UHC night so many times, all the rest of these people, and I'm like, okay, it's my first time, and they're like briefing me on what to do. They hit the random button because they had a mod that like kind of did all this for them, I think, is my assumption. But they hit the random button, and of course I'm the lone wolf, what you call the lone wolf in the game. So I'm like on my own, and they're like, no, what we're gonna do is whatever team finds you first, you can choose either go with them or go solo. So it's up to you. I'm like, I said, I will let you know now. I want to join your team. And of course, like we were like going I ran into this group right away. Luckily I like spawned in the middle of this herd of cows. So I killed all these cows. So I had tons of steak. I had like 18 steak on me and a bunch of leather. So I found like 2 dudes, and we ran off together, and we found this cave. But unfortunately, because right away we need iron and stuff like that. You need coal and iron and gold. You need gold so you can make golden apples, because that golden apples in ultimate hardcore mode is the only way to heal yourself. So that we start mining, but of course mining has its own dangers, and we run into a witch who poisons us. And in ultimate hardcore mode, you don't heal even if you're full hunger. You just, you just keep dying or whatever. So I got down to half a heart from the stupid witch. So I didn't last very long, because as soon as someone breathed on me funny, I died. But it was really fun. We played another match, and I got matched up with a random again. It was a lone wolf again. But still, really fun. And I kind of like opened up my eyes. Like, there's so many little tournament things like this that happened in Minecraft that's like PvP oriented that I didn't even know existed out there. So it was pretty neat.
Yeah, the game's crazy with
Yeah.
kind of just the variation that you hear about. And it's never going to be the game that I play a ton of, but I love hearing stories about it.
I haven't really played much in a while. I think I've been thinking about trying to get my daughter back into it, though. She liked the building. We never did any kind of adventure stuff.
Yeah, our son's... And your daughter's
Yeah.
not much younger than our son, I don't think. But, yeah,
His
she's probably
friends all
right
talk
age
about it.
for it. Yeah, that's what back when I was, doing therapy with kids, that was the biggest thing ever. And talking to my son and his friends at school, it still is.
Yeah, the kids. There's actually where my kids go to school. They have after school like enrichment. Some of the teachers will stay after and do certain activities with the kids. The parents pay for the teachers to be able to do that. But one of the clubs after school is Minecraft Club.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
It
That's awesome.
Actually, if you
but-
go to I think it's Minecraft something edu. Oh, if you Google Minecraft and edu, you'll find. Let me do.
She's doing it.
Live
She's
tweeting or
Googling.
Google.
MinecraftEDU.com. And then what it does is it has tons of different programs for teachers and librarians to go in, and you can download all these different modules for learning activities in the classroom, whether it's math or history or science or anything. Like, it's all learning programs that teachers can use. It's fantastic. Yeah.
I'll have to check it out.
I just I'll toss it into the chat room too. But anyway.
Yeah, I've been meaning to join up on the server there, get her playing again.
Yeah, anytime. Just let me know. I'll go in and approve your name, because it times out, I found, if you're not on, like when I invite. But just give me a heads up and I can throw it out there. Sure. And I can put her on creative mode if she wants. I don't care what people do on the server. But anyway. Let's see. They're getting on to other types of gaming rather than MMOs and stuff.
Yeah.
I did want to talk about Martian Dice.
What the hell is Martian Dice?
It is by Tasty Minstrel Games, and it is so awesome. It's this little tiny can of like 13 dice, and we take it with us when we go to restaurants, and we'll play it like before a meal comes, or sometimes after we're done eating, but we want to sit and chat. Like, so it's just Matt and Jason and I, and we'll play a little round of Martian Dice. And what it is you roll these dice, and on each of these 13 dice, the sides are, there's a cow, there's a chicken, there's a human, there's an alien, and then there's a tank. And you're playing as the Martians. You're trying to abduct humans and chickens and cows. So if you roll tanks, that's the Earth winning, and so those are like negative points against you, and you have to roll a certain amount of alien death rays to defeat those tanks. But then you also have to roll a certain number of cows and humans and chickens to abduct in order to. That's how you get your points.
So some of them cancel each other out, and then the other ones count as towards points.
Yeah,
Yes.
and there's lots of times though where you roll 0 because you just.
It's
The
kinda
tanks
like the same-
overwhelmed you.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the same dice system as in that Star Wars tabletop game, isn't it?
Kind
Because
of,
when you
with
throw
like the force points.
yeah, you roll
yeah.
damage, and then like the other person
Yeah.
has to roll defense points against it or something. Yeah.
It's somewhat similar.
We have one
But
called
this is-
Zombie Dice. It sounds similar, but more going on.
But it's just fairly reasonable priced, right, Jay?
Well, it is normally $15, and I have bought a Tasty Minstrel game in the past, so they had emailed me a couple weeks ago saying, I don't know if it's true or not, that they accidentally made too many of them. But on Amazon right now, it's $7.95, so that's how I bought it. And I just checked, and it is still that price. Definitely worth it.
I like the idea of taking it to dinner.
Yeah.
We did it. We were meeting with my parents, and we knew they were going to be late, but we were going to a place that has quite a wait, so we wanted to get a table early. We're those people. So we ended up playing the dice game for a bit.
Yeah,
And
and
it
I
really helped out.
kept in my. It's kind of small enough in my winter coat pocket. I was able to keep it there, so we brought there to play tonight, and then we put it in Shannon's purse just to keep. And yeah, it's a really cool kind of backup thing to when we're just sitting there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, sounds fun.
Now, when you keep it in your coat, do you keep it right next to your new Nintendo 3DS?
It's in the other pocket. It's funny you should mention that, because I've been playing a lot of that.
Have you?
Yeah. It's really good. I love the 3D effect. It works pretty much perfectly. It head tracks so that the 3D kind of stays wherever you're looking. And the only time I've ever noticed an issue is like at night when I'm in bed. When it's really low light, it's kind of flickers, but it's still way better than the old 3DS.
What have you been playing on it?
I have been playing Luigi's Mansion,
Oh, yeah.
just
Yeah.
because I love that game.
I love that game on the GameCube.
Yeah, the 3DS version is really good. And the 3D was really impressive, but it was annoying before because you had to look at it straight on.
Yeah.
So it works a lot better now.
That's a
Also
good
been
looking
playing-
game, too.
Yeah, that game looks great. I kind of wish it took advantage of the Circle Pad Pro or the Nub, but it wasn't designed that way. But it's still not bad. It controls okay.
Yeah.
Also, Kirby Triple Deluxe,
Heard that's
which
good.
is a really good game.
I should get that.
Looks great in 3D too.
Really fucking like Kirby. I should get that.
Yeah.
Epic Yarn,
Who
I think,
doesn't
was
like
the
Kirby?
I know. I think Epic Yarn was the last Kirby game I played. It's been a while.
I've never really played a Kirby game,
Really?
like a dedicated Kirby game.
I've got a
So-
couple of them on the Virtual Console.
I have some of those from the 3DS Ambassador, but I never really tried them. But I was going to get this or the Wii U one, but the Wii U one bummed me out just because people talked about how great it looks, but you never look at the TV.
Yeah, because you kind of got to look at the pad so that you can mark what you're doing. So, yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of seems dumb.
Yeah, it seems like that should have been a 3DS game.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
also been playing. Oh, there's one other game. What was it? Oh, Majora's Mask, which I
What was that?
Legend of Zelda: Majora's Mask,
Oh.
which I had never played, and I was worried about playing. And Dean had given me some advice on Twitter, helped me enjoy it, and that game is awesome.
Is it?
Maybe one of the better Zelda games I've played. And I'm not super far. I'm in the first dungeon, so I can't judge it really.
See, did
but
you
I-
like Ocarina of Time, though?
I did, but I'm liking this more so
Really?
far.
See, I
And
did not like. I'm the weird outlier. I did not like Ocarina of Time.
Okay, then I'm not that far off of you. Like, what are your favorite Zelda games?
Link to the Past
Okay, I'm with you.
and Wind Waker.
Okay, that was the other answer. That's the other correct answer.
Yeah, the correct answer for me to.
But it's probably
for me to
not super
accept.
popular. But I think Wind Waker is more popular now in hindsight, but
Yeah, the HD version helped it out, but like back in the day, I fucking loved. I thought Wind Waker was great.
oh, me
but
too.
Still,
That was the one that was the Zelda game I played the most to up till that point.
that was the Zelda game that made me accept 3D Zelda.
Yeah.
Because
No, I'm right with you.
when they made the Switch, I wasn't like I wasn't just hating on 3D Zelda, but I loved Link to the Past so much that when they made that switch to 3D eventually, I just wasn't feeling it. Ocarina of Time for me, like I thought it was still a pretty standard Zelda game,
Yeah.
but I hated the camera control. I hated the fact that there was like times where you were trying to line up stuff and the walls would get in your way for the camera. It's just like little annoyances with me where I'm thinking, everything was perfect about Link to the Past. This fucked up. This took away some of that perfection. That
Yeah.
was my opinion of it. So
Yeah. And I'm kind of the same way. I remember when Ocarina of Time came out, I was a teenager, and my older brother bought me like the gold cart edition,
oh yeah, yeah.
and I played it, and I liked it, but I was not super in love with it. And I heard good things about Majora's Mask. Dean gave me some tips, and I'm really liking how the time.
I don't know what it is because I don't understand the things you're saying right now.
Yeah.
But Dean in his chat room is going nuts, just saying that you're killing him. He's dying inside, and everything you're saying is wrong.
Okay, well, he should come on a podcast.
I know. I had to
Fucking
add that
stand
in
up
now.
for yourself. No, but what about Majora's Mask I'm liking? It's basically Groundhog Day. And I don't know how the old version was, but the 3DS version gives you a great way to keep track of what you've done and what you need to do. And I like that every day you can start over and you can focus on other bullshit. And if you don't like the other bullshit happening over here, you can go deal with other stuff happening over there. And there's kind of like a comedy to it, and also kind of like a sadness to who you helped in what day and who you don't. And it looks really good in 3D.
I'm happy for you. Can
I'm
we?
liking it.
That's good.
But yeah,
Can we?
before
I
we,
can't argue. Like, there's people yelling in the chat, and I'm feeling like...
But I feel like we could probably move on from the
Well,
top. Like,
but
there's
before
going to
we
be a
move
difference of opinion in games.
Before we move on.
All right.
Zelda is like the thing that people get
Adventure
most passionate about.
it's Zelda 2, Adventure of Link.
I
was
like
pretty
the
fucking
cartoon.
Great, so
I
now
like
we
the
can move on.
cartoon Zelda. Which one is my favorite Zelda? Which is the
Which is yours?
Jay?
Which one?
The little cartoon one right there.
Oh, you're talking about Wind Waker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's my favorite.
Wind Waker's the best one. I
Anyway,
hate that, though.
people hate that so much, but I love it. What did you want to? What was the one thing we had to talk about before we moved on?
Oh, I did. I mentioned it, but I don't know if
Oh,
it got
okay.
heard, so we can just skip it. That's fine.
Is there any way we can talk about Suicide Squad?
Sure, let's do that, and then we'll call it a night.
What is it? I know nothing about that.
Well, actually, we had two more things to talk about anyway.
Oh,
I'm
did
sorry.
we? Sorry, I'm not even.
So
looking
we'll
at
do it really quick. I just kind of wanted to cover Suicide Squad. Yes, it is a thing. One of my coworkers out of the blue asked me about like, have you heard of this? And I'm like, only like constantly, because Jason has been talking about like all of the rumored. I know there's a lot of like, sorry chat room, I know there's a lot of
Casting.
chappy stuff on the screen. There's a lot of chappy stuff on the screen because the IMDb is really promoting chappy, but I am highlighting the Suicide
Sinclair
Squad portion of it.
From Iron Eagle. He's
but-
in his own movie.
The casting of it like has been like tons of rumors and drop-ins and dropouts, and it's been kind of amazing. Will Smith's going to be Deadshot. Margot Robbie's going to be Harley Quinn. I guess Jared Leto. I don't know who that is, but apparently people hate him, and he's going to be the Joker.
I think he'll do good as Joker, though.
I don't know who that is.
Is he the guy from the Subway commercials? Jason
I
Statham?
don't know. Oh, that would be awesome.
You should
Hey,
tweet your
Batman,
buddy,
I
man.
brought
Ask
you a
him.
6-inch sub with some of my favorite meats.
The Joker.
This one's chicken teriyaki. Ha ha ha! I'm the Joker.
I do like the Lex Luthor one. That he's rumored. I don't know why they can't like lock him in, but I think he would do
No,
well.
I mean he's locked in for Superman versus Batman.
Yeah, he's in Superman versus Batman as Lex Luthor though, or is he just in the movie?
No, he's locked in as Lex Luthor.
Then why wouldn't he be locked into?
They're trying to decide or negotiate if he's going to be in this movie.
Okay,
but he is Lex Luthor in that universe.
Okay, can't you look at Marvel and understand you need some continuity?
Well, yeah, you would think they would, and they could have tied their TV shit in, but they didn't. So
yeah,
who knows what they're going to do?
Let's have two entirely different Flashes, but okay, that's going to piss me off if we talk about it too much. But but anyway, Jay Hernandez does not have a cast, like a character associated with him.
Oh, is
yet.
he the new guy that's going to play Rick Flag?
Maybe.
Tom Hardy was supposed to play Rick Flag, the leader of Suicide Squad, but
and if you don't know who
dropped out.
Suicide Squad is, we should probably tell people. If you're watching Arrow right now, Suicide Squad is the group headed by Amanda Waller in that show. This is going to be a completely different cast, of course, and have no ties at all with that show.
Wait, which one's Amanda Waller? She's the that paramilitary group.
Oh, in Arrow, she's the one.
She's like the incredibly beautiful, intelligent, hard-ass black lady.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, who
Like wears the high heels that are like as long as her legs. Freaking awesome.
Him in the current season in the backflashes.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's dark. Yeah, like
Okay.
she's got some her motivate. What is it? It's pretty much she's like a greater good type of character, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like she's not evil, but
Yeah.
she will put you in harm's way if there's a greater good to it.
Yeah,
Ends justify the means.
Yes,
Yep,
exactly.
pretty much. They're like they're convicts. They're going to jail. They can try to redeem themselves by taking on like unwinnable missions. I'm kind of bummed though in the movie that one of my favorite Suicide Squad members is not in it with Deathstroke.
Yeah.
He's not gonna be in it?
No.
Like they haven't I assumed they just had
When they
cast
had
him yet.
first cast Tom Hardy, I assumed he was going to be a Deathstroke because he would have been the best Deathstroke ever.
I am in love with Tom Hardy a bit.
He's the guy who played Bane, right?
Yeah. He would have been a perfect Deathstroke.
I'm not in love with his Bane character though, but I liked him in Inception a
Because you
lot.
couldn't see his face.
Well, yeah, kind of was a downer, but he did a good job without his face. Okay, beyond Suicide Squad. So now you all know Suicide Squad is a thing. It is a comic book thing, and it really exists, and blah, blah, blah. The other thing I wanted to cover was the Star Wars Rebels and the problem we had with its ending. Most people agree that it was so awesome. And I do agree that it was so awesome. What I would have thought was way more awesome is that if it wasn't totally spoiled for me on Twitter prior. And I know, like, people love to live tweet and all of that jazz. And I don't know if you all... Okay, see, we were getting some people in chat room. They love Star Wars Rebels. Yeah, imagine my disappointment, though, when I heard all of the reveals in advance. And I understand people have busy schedules, so I don't want to reveal the secrets if you are lucky enough to not know them yet and haven't seen it yet. But what happened for us is we don't own the channel, the actual channel that it's on. So we wait about 24 hours before we see it, because we get it. What do we get it on, honey?
The Amazon, like season pass thing.
Oh, yeah.
So we pay for it legitimately and we get it legitimately, but we wait one day. So imagine my disappointment when I'm like, and he knows, like, like I had planned it out, like I had gotten a bottle of wine, I was all excited and everything, and he's like, and I was just on Twitter the night before playing video games and like it popped up and I'm like, oh well, that will be fun. Okay,
So here's
that'll
the
be
nice thing
nice
about
for me.
not owning a phone is that
No,
like-
honey, this is a second monitor which you now have.
huh?
This is the fun of having a second monitor, which you now have.
You know what? Sure, but at the
Yeah,
time,
this is what this is. This is my second
You're
monitor.
a big boy now.
Yeah, no, I was playing a game on one monitor, and then my Twitter was on another monitor, and it popped up there, not my phone. And you are in that ball game now, pal.
well, I don't follow those assholes. Probably, I don't know. I probably
You do.
Well, yeah. So hey, assholes, stop tweeting spoilers for people. I guess.
No, and I kind of felt like how we kind of, I think we did a good job, like today, dancing around, like there's not much you can talk about, like not wanting to reveal a lot with a murder novel, and then you can't reveal a lot with Agent Carter without giving away things, but I thought we did a good job of dancing around it without spoiling anything for people.
Yeah, I would hope
And
so.
I think you can just say stuff like, oh my god, I can't believe that last show, or something, but I love these people.
Yeah, I mean, I never really expected a Sith Ewok.
I know. That was fucking amazing. It blew my mind.
Out of nowhere, right?
Yeah.
But also, people do love to live
But
tweet.
it makes sense.
So, live tweeting's a thing, and I should have stayed away from it. Like I should have blacked out interweb. Apparently, I'm dumb. The disappointment was had. I still enjoyed the last show though.
It was really good.
Very good. Yeah. Are you all caught up?
You know what? I think I've missed an episode or two, like hit and miss, but mostly I've seen the entire series, and I was actually home.
You saw the last episode?
Yes, I did. I was.
Next season, I'm super excited for.
Yeah. Well, and I don't. We can edit this out if need be. I don't think it has anything to do with what's already happened, but they did show on somewhere online, I don't know if I caught it through Reddit or Twitter or what, but that for next season they have Sarah Michelle Gellar in doing some voice work for the show. I don't know.
Nagging at her husband.
Her hubby's got her in.
Yeah, so I don't know. They said that she'll be heavily involved.
I'm sorry, that's not fair. I love Buffy, and I'm such a bitch
she
about
needs
her.
stuff to do. She's bored. I don't think the jobs are rolling in.
I've heard.
You know what? I gotta say though,
I love her and I love Buffy, but like I'm a huge Buffy fan. But I've heard unpleasant things about her in terms of working with her.
I have no idea either way. I've not.
Well, no, I didn't. I wasn't like on the set or anything.
Sure,
but like
I've
that's
never been a
like
fan of hers though. So.
okay, but I've never been a fan of Freddie Prinze Jr. I actively hated him, and he does an amazing job.
He does a great voice work.
I went and saw fucking Wing Commander in the theaters, so.
My apologies
you know that
on his
I'm not
behalf.
a Freddie Prinze Jr. fan.
He does a great job in this, and Dragon Age Inquisition. He does an amazing job as well.
Who is he in that?
He's Bull. I can't remember his last name, but everyone who plays Dragon Age is going to yell at me, but he's a great job. I think Dean Chat will know.
Dean Chat, is that his name now?
Dean Chat.
Dean Chat. You're such a dick.
Let this chat catch
you
up
do not
to
call
you.
Dean Chat.
Yeah, he's pretty good as Iron Bull. Yep.
All right, Jason, I would like you to talk about Hand of Fate on Steam. We need to move along.
Hand of Fate's really good.
No, you have it on the thing that you wanted to talk about.
No, it is a really, really cool game. I picked it up this morning, and while working, I played about 3-4 hours.
While working, people. Yeah. This is what working from home is like.
It's a unique concept. It starts off as you being in kind of like a medieval tent, playing a card game with another guy, and he's dealing stuff to you, and he's dealing like rooms that you're going into.
This is like a strip card game.
Yeah, no, it's hot. No, so every room you go into.
Oh, so Hand of Fate means something different than what I was thinking.
Yeah, it does. So you go into the rooms, and it's potential for like something to draw cards. Like you can draw cards for equipment, food, gear, whatever. And then as you equip and you get better gear, you get food to travel, you might run into enemies. And when you run into enemies, it turns into like a small combat arena with Arkham Asylum type combat. So whatever equipment that you have gotten from cards, you have to use to fight guys like trolls, goblins, whatever. And it's a roguelike to where the farther you go, the more equipment you get, but if you die, you're kind of back to zero. And it's got a really cool narrator, kind of like Bastion. Like he's the card dealer, just annoyed with you when you're progressing. It's really, really cool. So it's a nice mix of card game type risk reward with Arkham Asylum type combat.
So is it live? Is it live action or turn based or?
The card stuff is turn based, but once you're into the action, no, it's full on. Like you need a controller to play it.
Is it on PC?
Yeah, it's on PC and PS4 and Xbox One, but I'm playing on PC.
Cool.
It's really cool. I'm amazed.
Can you also talk about?
I think it was $15.
Yeah,
might have been 20. I'm not sure
It
if
is
there's a
on
demo.
the screen here for $24.99.
Oh, it's $25.
That's what it says.
Oh.
That's what Done Did said.
Yeah, it's really good.
Can you talk about The Escapists?
Yeah, The Escapists is a cool game, where it's a pixel art style, and you are dropped into a prison. You're trying to escape, and it gives you a nice freedom of you can go interact with items like tables and desks. You can loot. So you're trying to get items to craft together. So if you might get duct tape, you might get socks, you might get whatever, and they might make like a shiv, they might make a screwdriver, and you can kind of go up, like you can stand up on your desk and try to get into the vents and try to escape. But you also have cops, guards on your ass, so you're trying to adhere to a schedule, so it'll kind of give you the time of day. It's morning, you need to go to roll call, it's breakfast, it's work duty, and you have to kind of balance sticking with that stuff so that you don't get noticed, but also trying to loot stuff. You can shiv other prisoners, or you can try to make relations with them, not in a sexual way, and try to get a strategy to get out of there. So you can...
Oh, The Escapists.
Yeah, that's the theme. No, but it's really
That
cool.
sounds cool.
Didn't
What you said
Didn't
it
I
was
say
2D,
that?
like
Did I
pixel art?
say it wrong?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, it's on the Twitch
8-bit,
channel right now if you
16-bit.
look.
You also have to, like, you have job duties, but you can also go work out. You can go on the internet, and that raises your intellect, your strength, your conditioning. So if you want to just kind of brute force your way out and attack guards, you can do that. You can attack guards and steal their uniform and try to sneak out that way. I've been playing it for a couple hours, and I haven't been successful in getting out. But I feel like that's my dumbness. Like there's lots of options. Like once it teaches you the basics, it's up to you.
Do you know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of Hot Tub Time Machine, where he's like, "No, I got to do my time."
Yeah,
There are consequences.
Yeah.
I kind of like day to day. I could see how prisoners are just indoctrinated because no, I'm just here to do my time, and I don't wanna raise any bells. I'm kind of hoping the game ends on good behavior. I get out. No, it's really interesting.
It actually looks adorable. I'm watching
There
it.
are so many
sorry.
options on your ways to get out. Like you could kill a cop and just try to
That's not going to go well for you.
Well, yeah, you could pump iron enough to where you are just mowing your way out, or you can like try to get ingredients to make a poster to put over your bars, and you could try to dig so that guards don't see you, and kind of continuously dig and make sure your shovel is replenished because it will wear down, and then just kind of go out that way.
Wouldn't they
That's
use
pretty cool.
spoons?
Yeah, you can make a spoon.
Awesome.
You can shiv somebody.
Well, I want to like shiv them with the one side and then dig with the other side.
And the
Kind of like a prison spork.
you can go up to prisoners and kind of asked them for quests. So, like, one dude told me, you know, I lent my spoon to this guy, and he won't give it back. Can you go fuck him up? He doesn't say that exactly. So, I found that guy alone, and I beat him up, and I took the spoon off him, and I brought it to him, the other guy. And I'm like, okay, cool. I finished that mission. So then we go to roll call, where everybody's there, and the guy I beat up just starts attacking me. And now, like, he hates me. Like, I can't even talk to him. Every time I go around him, like, we have lunch, starts attacking me. So I had to restart my game because I didn't realize, like, oh, people remember stuff. So it's kind of a nice balance of, like, you can take a mission for somebody to beat up some other guy, but, you know, that guy's gonna remember you beat him up.
That's a pretty good level of interaction for that kind of game.
Actually, yeah, like, because I'm watching, like, the little clips they have on Steam, and it's this tiny little 2D thing. It's adorable, and it's way more involved than what it looks like it's going to be. I mean, there's a little library. It's, like, so cute. It's like, nope.
I'm going to go stab that motherfucker in the showers.
You paint this super dark picture of it, though.
They put their money in the gameplay instead of the graphics.
Yeah.
Well, it's pretty awesome.
Just like Food Fight for the Atari, right?
Right,
guys?
I didn't play that.
Fuck yeah.
But anyway, I think it's time we cut it.
Yep.
In the meantime, all of you should be checking out A Clockwork Murder by Todd Edwards. You can check out the first couple chapters if you go to Amazon.com. Just type in A Clockwork Murder. It pops right up. You can see if it's for you for $2.99, $3. You can get the whole novel, and it's totally worth it and awesome.
Practically free.
Like, yeah, actually, like the amount of entertainment you're going to get out of it is you're going to be happy with that. And leave a review and tell people how awesome it is, because it is.
Thank you.
And
tell them Large Marge sent you.
Oh, don't say that.
Or Multiplaying. I don't know.
Oh, I'm the only girl like on the show right now.
Oh, I love when he rides that motorcycle on the billboard.
Yeah, I know what you're doing. Anything
I'm a loner,
you guys?
Daddy.
I'm a rebel.
I'm a rebel.
Anything else you guys want to close with? You guys want to give Todd the last word, maybe?
Thanks for having me on, and thanks for reading the book, especially.
We said word, not words.
Well, gentlemen, no point in hanging around this dump any longer.
Wait! Where are you going? I was going to make espresso.
Show's over, folks.
You can't go! All the plants are going to die. Take off, eh?
Thanks for listening to Multiplaying, the companion podcast at multiplaying.net. Questions, comments, feedback, errors, etc. can be sent to multiplaying@gmail.com. We invite you to write a review on iTunes and visit our website at www.multiplaying.net.
We've made a lot of friends, shared a lot of laughs, often at the expense of others.
I think some people are going to be upset.
Let me just close this conversation by saying you are one unique individual.
Thank you and good night.